I gotta wait. How long I gotta wait for a press record?
Go.
Welcome to the stand, where Miss Dreme always has a story.
I'm Dreme, a black woman with many beautiful interconnecting identities. A few I will name at this moment as we get started on this podcast journey together. A Bostonian, born and raised in the inner city, Dorchester and Roxbury neighborhoods, to a teenage single mother who has my whole heart. An educator, I've been working with youth and children since my teenage years, and formally, I have been teaching almost a decade now. That's wild to think about. An entrepreneur, I am the founder of The Chair, a black and brown centered tech platform dedicated to supporting people on their hair journey, where you can design hairboards, connect to hairstylists, and share hair care tips for a more joyous experience. I have a workable site, my prototype. It took me 2 years to build, and now I'm on this adventure that you're currently on with me. My goal for this podcast is to share stories, black stories, educator stories, entrepreneurship stories, and hair stories. I want you to leave each episode with the opportunity to gain new insight, just a glimpse into my world or the worlds that are featured on my podcasts, a little chuckle during your day or night, possibly a little anger to encourage you to advocate for justice, and hope to continue learning and dreaming. So come in and listen to the beautiful voices in the chair as they share their stories, starting with me.
Where we share stories in the chair.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Lexi. Lexi, can you please introduce yourself?
What's up, everybody? My name is Lexi Lanou. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I am a personal trainer, owner of Rivalry Strength and Performance, which is my fitness and lifestyle brand, but I'm also the general manager at a gym in the West Loop called G&D Strength Society. I've always been in the fitness realm, more or less. I've always been into sports, and I think that kind of led me on the path that I am on now, but really excited to talk about all this stuff. Dreme always knows how to bring in some good thoughts and bits and pieces. And I was like, these questions are great. I want to do it.
Oh, thank you. Lexi and I met in college, and one of the most intense memories I have with Lexi, she was naked.
Bro, oh my God.
And I
was telling someone about this like literally 3 weeks ago. I'm like, damn, I got those pictures. I wish I had them pictures still. Oh my God, it's crazy. Yeah, very vivid memory of that.
Lexi, my first love is photography, and I had the opportunity to have a little gallery opening, and I wanted to highlight beauty of bodies, specifically black bodies of women. Lexi and I were casual acquaintances, and I was like, hey, I'm interested in this project. You're like, yeah, I'm down. And then I was like, okay, maybe we should be friends so it doesn't feel weird, that
You're gonna be naked.
You're gonna be naked in front of me as I'm taking all these beautiful pictures of you. And we were in like one of the bathrooms hall, trying to make sure no one opened the door.
You had me naked all over that campus.
And to show the beauty, and we ended up just laughing the whole time and creating beautiful art. And that for me was the beginning of our friendship, and ever since then, every time we were together, we would always have a secret laugh and just be
it's
able,
like they don't know.
Yeah,
they don't know.
And be able just to talk to each other and really just check in with each other all the time. And so it's been amazing to just be able to be a part of your world, no matter how small it was. And so when I asked her to be on the podcast, I was like, oh, I'm so excited. She said yes. So you've always been an athlete. Did you always know that you would be in the world of fitness?
I didn't. I really, for a long time, didn't know what I wanted to do. I feel like sometimes I still feel that way, but I think one thing that always stuck out to me before I decided to go the route of fitness was I always said that I didn't really want to have a boss, and I wanted to make my own schedule. And I want a desk, but I don't want to sit at it all day. Those were the criteria that I had set in middle school. I definitely kind of had the urge to step out a little bit, but I never knew where that was actually going to take me.
When you're thinking about that, did you think about the word entrepreneur, or was that not even a thing for you?
At the time, no. My dad was the one that brought that up. He's like, oh, so you want to be an entrepreneur? And then, in my mind, I'm like, I mean, yeah. It goes back to feeling like that wasn't going to be enough because it's entrepreneur so broad. You could really be doing anything. So in my mind, I was like, I mean, yeah, but like I wanted it to have more direction at the time. Already so young, just being like, yeah, but I don't know. I want to have a real job and all of these thoughts that I had already had in my mind. But yeah, it was very entrepreneurial spirit very early on for me.
So what was the string that kept pulling you towards fitness?
So as you start to really dive into being a serious athlete and wanting to play at the collegiate level and really being invested in basketball, you get pulled into, what are you doing in the off season? Are you working out? Are you doing your training outside of being a basketball player? And once my love for the game of basketball kind of became more strained, the gym became more of just where I wanted to be. There was a point in time where I was very much so training for basketball, but I only cared or really had a draw to what I was doing in the gym, the training and the lifting that I was doing. I didn't really care so much for basketball anymore at a certain point.
What was the difference?
I'm not even sure. I think, I don't want to say that the effort that you put in on the court doesn't give you anything in return. But in the gym, your return is what you put in. As opposed to basketball, where it's like, yes, I did have a good game, but we lost. Or the season isn't going well. And there's so many other factors that play into the success of the bigger picture. Where in the gym, if I'm not getting where I want to be, it's me.
It's immediate.
I know what the issue is. Or there aren't so many other things that could be deterring me from getting to where I want to be in the way that it was with a team sport.
That's interesting. I was just talking about this with my mother. I was like, for me, when it comes to working out, 3 things have to matter. 3 things have to work. It has to be fun for me. It has to be strategic, and it has to be immediate. So that's why I box. So I box 3 times a week. It's immediate feedback if you get punched in the face. Strategic, right? Yeah, and you're like, don't do that, right? It's strategic, trying to think 4 or 5 steps ahead, and it's fun. This is why I like salsa dancing. I was going to all these salsa class. There's immediate. If someone steps on your foot, you did this shit wrong. Good music and strategic, and it's fun. When I started pole, immediate. If you are not hanging on the pole, if you fall, there's your
you're doing something wrong.
There's your immediate feedback, right? Strategic, right? Like you're trying to be sexy, kinda. You're trying to be, fit.
I'm trying to find it.
You're trying to be fit. Like, I was like, I don't understand how people be beautiful and I can't breathe. And so you try to do that, and then it was actually really fun when you started to figure out how your own body strength started to really work. But that took me until my late 20s to figure those 3 things out for me. But for you, you started, when you started recognizing that immediate feedback in fitness, what kept pulling you? Was it a type of fitness? Like,
I just always wanted to be stronger. I always just wanted to be lifting more and whatever it was. I can remember pretty vividly end of my sophomore year, going to my junior year, sometime around then. And I had just transitioned into, okay, I need to be doing extra outside of what I'm doing at basketball practice to be better, try to get recruited and all of these things. So I started going to this sports performance gym. I remember walking in there and being just so excited to just work out. I'm like 205 right now. I think in high school I was like 160. I was a string bean. Just swimming in my basketball uniform, and all I wanted to do was lift heavy. I wanted to lift with the guys. I love playing basketball with the guys. It just felt very natural for me to be in that space. And then every time I want to do something, I wanted it to be heavier. I want to go heavier. I want to go heavier. Even if I wasn't even sure if I could do it, I can try. I don't know. I could try. Give me a year. I'll be able to do it. That urge to literally just want to be strong. And your feedback is being able to lift more weight. Being a competitive power lifter, that is the name of the game. Who can lift the most? Are you able to lift more than you did the last time you competed? It's just trying to get those numbers to tick in the right direction.
Where we share stories in the chair.
Look, it's my commercial. We will be right back.
It's more than just a bad hair day. It's a journey. Finding the right hairstyle isn't easy, nor is finding the right stylist or the right products. Looking in every corner of the web gets messy, overwhelming, and exhausting. All the ads, the articles, the products, the videos, it shouldn't be this hard, but it is. And now, it isn't. The Chair. A black and brown centered platform where you can design hairboards, connect to hairstylists, and share hair care tips for a new, joyful path on your hair journey. Avoid the clutter, save yourself hours, months, and even years of research and poor trial and error. Everything you need and only what you need is in one place. Hairboards made by people like you, for you. Find the right products, the right people, the right answers for you, stress-free. Join the Chair community and make every day a great hair day. When you share your pain, you allow others to help you. And when you share your success, you help others get theirs. Lean on the Chair. We got you. No stress, no strife. In the chair. The chair. The chair. All right.
Do you consider yourself an educator in this world of fitness?
When I first think about it, no, but I very much so think that I am as I slow my thoughts down. But I think it's more so just thinking about the word educator and you think of a teacher in a classroom, and that's what pops into my brain. But I think in the broad sense, yeah, I'm teaching people things every day. How to move their bodies, how to not move their bodies, helping them move their bodies more. For me as a trainer, my mindset changes a little because it's not necessarily the client's goal isn't the same goal as mine. They don't really care about being stronger every time they go in the gym. Trying to find different things that can be viewed as improvement, just moving forward. So I think, yes, I am an educator, but it's not my first natural thought to say that I am one.
Do you feel like you're having conversations with the people you train about self-love? Even though you're talking about self-improvement, but do you feel like self-love is intertwined in that conversation?
Totally. I think a big part of what makes training other people so fun for me is to help them find those things that they can view as improvement, that they can view as giving themselves grace, that they can view as there's more than one way to get to a goal. Sometimes it's just having conversations and me being like, hey, you know what? You had a long day at work. You're super stressed. Let's reel this day in a little bit. We're not going to go heavy. We're not going to, do what I had planned out. We're just going to feel our way through this so that we can see this day as a win and not as an extra thing that you have to do. So there is like you said, and I don't necessarily call it self-love, but I definitely think there is some of that in how I approach training other people. Yeah.
How do you feel that your identities come to play as a trainer, as a general manager, as an owner of your own brand?
How do I? I would definitely say they impacted in ways that I'm probably not consciously aware of. And this is something that goes back to me being a kid and really being just a sponge to my parents and the people that they were, and always taking pride in who you are and what you do, and trying to create a space for people that look like you to feel comfortable in. So for me, growing up, my mom was a teacher, then she went to be a superintendent, and then she went to be an assistant principal. Now she's a principal at an elementary school. She also referees basketball. And her biggest thing was, I want to be doing things that are going to put me in front of people that don't get to see themselves very often. So yes, she could be reffing high school boys basketball games, but she intentionally only does women's basketball games. He's like, there aren't a lot of women referees. There aren't a lot of Black women referees. And there are girls that just need to see that. And from my perspective, in a gym space, yes, there are, especially nowadays, the whole culture of the gym and who's in it, who takes up space is so different. But even just being a woman in a gym space, especially in the world of powerlifting, you don't see a lot of women in general, and you really don't see a lot of Black women. And so for me, yes, it is fun, but I'm also like, okay, I gotta put on for my city. So I would say I wrap those things into how I take up space, but not in a way that's over the top, which I guess I would say that I do that sometimes, but in a way that I'm not ashamed to show these things or to really just show up as me. And I feel like I invite people to do that as well.
Can you give me an example of how you noticed that people feel comfortable in your gym or around your communities of fitness? What does that look like when people are like, this is home?
This is going to sound so cliche, but I think it's more of like a feeling. Walking into a space and feeling like you can take full breaths and ask someone if you're able to work in, or how many sets do they have, or it's just how much easier it is to interact with people and not feel like you're labeled as other. We have a lot of our members at our gym that's how they're perceived in other predominantly white spaces. And so I think immediately just walking in and being able to see people that look like you, again, is so comforting in a way that it literally just takes being put into the right space to feel that. I'm trying to think of what a like specific example would be. We make it a point to have the people that we have on staff that they're very forward facing. And it's not just G&D, the gym, the building. It's everyone on staff. It's knowing who they are. It's seeing their face in the gym, and it's knowing them as people and not just as someone that works at the gym that you see every so often. I think just a level of community that we build is what draws people to our gym. So when we have people visiting from town, or they just moved into the city, they're like, oh, I've heard really good things about G&D and that you guys are queer friendly and all of these things. And so they immediately come in with the energy of, okay, I can be comfortable here. As opposed to sometimes you walk into spaces and you're very much so testing the water before you really kind of show up.
Oh, and if you're interested to learn more about my experiences as a Black woman and educator in Guangzhou, China, I wrote my first ebook titled Nowhere and Everywhere, Captured Emotions of a Beautifully Broken Love Story. It is on lulu.com. Take a read and see some beautiful photography of mine. Enjoy the rest of the show. Someone who's interested in fitness, but is possibly nervous or scared to fully immerse themselves in that world, what advice do you have to them?
I know this is very hard for a lot of people, but don't care at all about what the next person is doing. Because there is a level of, you may feel like everyone's watching you, and think of the number of people that feel like they're being watched. We're all living the same experience. So just taking it at a level of, everyone's been in my position before. Everyone had to start somewhere at some point in time and feel uncomfortable, and being able to work through that is just as rewarding as being able to see the number on the scale go down or being able to lift more. Again, those are wins that you can find throughout a journey that could seem very scary. And sometimes I just start people with like, okay, if you're super nervous to go to the gym, I want you to pick one thing. You're going to go in the gym and you're going to do 2 sets and you're going to leave. And then 2 days later, I want you to go back. And then I want you to either pick another thing or do that same thing, but just do another set. And just build your tolerance of being in the gym. Sometimes people will just go and walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes. You're in the gym. You're minding your business. You get off the treadmill. You go home. Build your tolerance up. Take your time. You don't got to jump all the way in the water first go, but don't hold yourself back because of fear of being judged or whatever.
I hear that. And then it also confuses me because I'm like, fitness is a world of comparison, but there's
comparison to who?
Isn't fitness a world of comparison to each other?
Yes, simply yes, it is. You're totally right. But I also think a big part of it is in terms of competition, yes, it's very clearly a comparison of strength, of talents, of whatever. But I think the process of getting to those moments of competing against other people, that's all about you. You're not competing with anyone until the competition. Up until that point, it's just you thinking about that journey to wherever that endpoint is. So if we could put this in terms of powerlifting, typically you prep for a powerlifting meet for anywhere from 10 to 12 weeks at a time.
Okay.
And then you have your meet. For those straight 10 to 12 weeks, you are training your numbers, your lifts to beat your numbers in your lifts. First and foremost, that's the goal of the competition. Yes, it is a competition, but I just want to make sure first, before anything else, I'm going to be able to do better numbers than I did the last time that I competed. Then the competition should come in a thought. Now, not everyone thinks about it that way, and I think that's just a general mindset thing, but the process of getting to an endpoint, all of that is you. That other person, that other competitor, the whatever, they don't come into play until that day. And even then, I'm like, what do they matter? I've done all of this training up until this point by myself or with my training partners, whatever it is. I've put in the work. The whole time it's been you versus you. And that's how I view fitness as a whole. But it's very easy to get caught up in it being competition, comparison all the time.
I feel like I have now gotten to that point for me personally, being like, well, fitness is my own conversation instead of conversations with my doctor, instead of conversation with other people, right? So I have PCOS. And so one of the symptoms for PCOS is weight gain. You can gain weight really fast and it takes forever to fall off. They were like, oh, you just need to work out. That's what you need to do. For me, it was more of not that you just don't need to work out. You need to be consistent with PCOS. But then you learn that being consistent in fitness is a mantra for everything. Specifically for me, it was like being consistent, but it was like, oh, I need to do this so I can get this for this. But when I started to have that internal conversation being like, no, I am doing fitness to have a healthier, loving internal body. I'm having a healthier, lovier conversation with myself. When I started to think about strength as strength instead of strength as weight loss, I had to learn from a bunch of really talented fitness people that those are two separate different conversations, and your mindset of fitness is all messed up based on society and all this stuff. One of my fitness people would be like, strength is sexy. And I was like, what does this mean? But they weren't talking about it in this way, but they were like, the fact that your muscles can do this workout is sexy. And I was like, that is a different way of thinking about it. I had to keep hearing it in this other way to be like, well, when I am having this internal conversation about fitness, about how I see fitness, it then became so much easier to then be like, oh, going to salsa classes is fitness. Going to circus arts is fitness.
Pole dancing
is fitness. Going on walks is fitness. It was such a different mindset for me that it was hard at the beginning because I was like, no, you can't enjoy fitness. Fitness for me, when I was younger, had to be miserable for it to work. It had to be
Right.
miserable for it to be like you're getting your gains or you're doing this right.
If
And
you're not crawling out of the gym, you're not trying.
it had to be this miserable experience. And so for me, I'm like, yeah, I need to work out, but I don't want to be miserable every day
Yeah.
coming out of the gym. And so it wasn't until I got older, but being like, okay, can I have a different conversation about fitness with other people? And then it was
Yeah.
starting to learn about fitness from all these different perspectives. My pole dancing instructor was an Asian woman who was 5'10". So I am 5'3", okay? And I am
You're
like
5'3"?
I'm 5'3.5", okay? And
Okay, that makes more sense. The half, that's what you forgot.
and I am curvy. I have a lot more body than she does. And she was like, no, I can train you. And I was like, this doesn't make any logical sense, right? To me, right? But she also majored in physics. So every time she talked to me about pole, she was like, well, let's talk about the physics of this move. And she goes, well, you have a bigger butt than I do, so you got to do this. And this what you have to do. Oh, here are the increments to get this move. Yo, it made pole so much more fun. This has nothing to do with weight. She was like, nope, it's physics. I was like,
because she's showing you that it can be made for you. It's not something that you have to fit into.
Yes.
In my mind, that's as a trainer, as a coach, whatever, that's what I'm supposed to do. Because it's not something that's very easy for people to understand, just in a general sense. Like if you're not immersed into training and fitness and all of these things, like society will kind of make up your mind for you in a sense. And I try to change people's perspective and be like, hey, I don't care what you think you need to be doing. Tell me what your goals are, and then we'll figure out a way to get there. And how we get there is not always going to be because the book said.
Yes.
Or because science said. Yes, those things are super important, but that's not how life works. Yeah, X, Y, and Z. This is the timeline. But I got fucked at work last week. I didn't sleep. I don't have the patience for this. All my workouts need to be 30 minutes this week. Okay, then our timeline's a little bit longer, but guess what? We're still moving forward. We just had to make some adjustments. I think a lot of people fall off of the consistency train when their routine has to change. I'm like that with my nutrition, like with eating, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing so good, killing it, and then I fall off for one day, and I'm like, well, guess I can just not try anymore. I feel like people get into that when they have setbacks within trying to be more fit or however they're going about that. You just have to be more willing to make adjustments first.
And I felt like I was doing a lot of unlearning, understanding that the BMI system is absolutely racist and problematic.
Doo-doo.
Right.
Doo-doo.
And then being able to be like, well, if strength does not necessarily equate to weight for me, muscle gain and losing inches are two different things. Oh my goodness. I'm boxing with my coach and he's like, you're getting better. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting better, but I'm still the same size. I thought I was supposed to shrink. And he goes, no, your muscles are changing though, because now I'm getting all these cuts and stuff. But I'm like, I still look the same, right? But he was like, no, your muscles are forming differently. He was like, that's gonna take time. Like you're still gonna look different. When I'm engaging in fitness, it's like I am having to love every piece of my body differently over and over again. Oh, you got a new muscle. Hey, nice to meet you.
Hey, girl.
Yeah. Like, let me love on you.
It is a constant, and I think even for me, and being someone who works out all the time, and I work at a gym, and the gym is my life, I still go through that process of being like, I don't really like how I look right now, or whatever it is. I still go through that same process. And even when people are like, oh my God, stop, I wish I looked like you. We all go through those again, that comparison game of I'll literally be on Instagram and I already know Instagram, it's comparison killer, all that stuff. But you go on Instagram and you're scrolling, you're like, I should look like her. I should be as strong as her. I go through that and I have to talk my way out of it to myself. Okay, you had that thought, you were sad for a second. Now let's regroup. You're not that person. You're not going to be that person. Who knows what their background is, where they come. There's so many things that play into just how you carry your body weight, where you lose weight first, where you lose weight last, what muscles are going to grow faster. There's so many different bits and pieces that for face value, you're not even thinking about that. You're just like, damn, I don't look like that. Could you look like that? Could you look like that? You don't have the body type to look like that, even if you wanted to. And we can do the contrast comparison of women that say, I don't want to go to the gym because I don't want to look too manly, or I don't want to get too bulky, whatever it is. If you don't try to look like that, you won't look like that. It's that simple. It's not like you lift a weight and you're going to turn into a linebacker. It takes time. It all takes time. And so I think a lot of internal conversations have to happen in general, but especially when it comes to the decisions you're making about your body and what types of or what avenues you are taking in regards to your fitness journey and whatever. That is like you said, that's a me conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can very much so be influenced by people to kind of get the ball rolling and do X, Y, and Z. But there comes a point in time where you're going to have to, am I doing this for me? And if you're not, it's going to be very easy for you to get knocked off of being committed to what you're doing.
Lexi, thank you so much for sitting in the chair and sharing your stories. I truly, truly appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed every second of it. Let her know if y'all want episode 2, because I'm a certified yapper.
Welcome to the chair, where Miss Dreme always has a story.
Thank you for listening to an episode of The Chair. I, of course, would love your continued support. Let me know what you think of this episode by doing all the things. Subscribe, comment, and come back next week, every week. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful day, or if you are like me, enjoy that moonlight and that one star under all your city lights. Love you. Talk to you later.
The chair.
How long I gotta wait for a press record?
Go.
We support her. Shit.
Do your...
Welcome to the chair, where Miss Dreme always